I'm Zaslavsky, cook and author of In Praise of Veg. I'm going to show you my famous 4-ginger parsnip sticky date recipe. This recipe is all about taking it slow. I particularly love to take my time hand grating the parsnip, hand grating the ginger, and really taking this as an opportunity to slow things down. First thing we're going to chop are our medjool dates. You'll find these in the fresh produce aisle. They're nice and juicy. Pop off the tops, split them open with your fingers, and out comes this little pit. These are not so great in your sticky date. Time to chop. And I like to leave them quite chunky actually, so even though you're chopping, don't chop them too fine. Now let's do the same with the crystallised ginger. I've popped the crystallised ginger into this recipe because as it bakes, these bits of crystallised ginger kind of stay, so you get little gifts in this sticky date. Ginger does not need a knife to be peeled. All you need is a teaspoon. And then just dig in and the skin comes straight off. Now it's time to grate. You may think I'm doing this upside down, but this is actually how you're supposed to use a microplane. It catches the ingredient and you can see how much you use. Just watch those fingers. Time to get onto the parsnips. First things first is to peel. Pop these in a little bowl and fry them while you're cooking everything up, and don't let anybody else have them. They're your little chef snack. Grating is something that you do not want to do fast because this grater, especially the coarse one, is super sharp. If you've got kids doing this particularly, watch their fingers. And when you're done, take a moment, take a breath, take a stretch. You'll need it. But then you can move on to the next part, which is peeling the final parsnip for display. So peel strips, just like that. Ooh. The longer the better. Let's pop all of the ingredients into the bowl. In goes our parsnip, 4 cups. Our grated ginger, crystallised ginger, and our chopped dates, and our ground ginger. Final ingredient is our bicarb of soda. This is going to help to lift this sticky date pudding, give it a bit of fizz. Now it's time to mix everything into a bowl. Using your hands is actually one of my favourite things to do in the kitchen, so any excuse. Once your hands are nice and rinsed, heat up your ginger ale. Now that your ginger ale is hot, it's time to pour the ginger ale over your parsnip mix. This is going to need 20 minutes to cool and soften. Let's get the melted butter combining with the sugar and the eggs. Is there anything that smells better than melted butter? I'm using Demerara sugar, which is a really dark brown sugar. It's the same one that we will use for the caramel sauce. I'm going to incorporate the eggs one at a time into this bowl, and you want to do this one at a time so that the eggs don't all flood the mix, so do take your time with this bit. Beating it like this and taking your time also means that the sugar incorporates, so you don't get weird little sugar crystals. It's about now that you might like to add your vanilla too. Two options now. You can either mix wet into dry or dry into wet, whichever one has the bigger bowl. All right, now Let's help these guys get to know each other. Final step is to get your flour and a pinch of salt, which I always find for baking works really well, into here. And you want to do this nice and gently and nice and slowly. Grab your lined and buttered baking dish, and you want to use a big one because this feeds 12. Once you've smoothed the sides down, the last thing is to pop the parsnip strips onto here. Just savour this moment, because it's the last thing you'll do before it goes in the oven. And you have to get back to your day. Now it's off to the oven at 180 degrees. This is going to bake for at least an hour. So while you wait, you've got a butterscotch sauce to make, and you've got a bunch of time to put your feet up and do exactly what it is that you want to do. Take it slow, you got nowhere else to go. With about 10 minutes to go, it's time to make our caramel sauce. Whack the butter into the pan, add sugar, cream, a sprinkle of salt, and of course a little bit of vanilla. Give that all a stir until it combines into a sauce and the butter melts. Once it starts to bubble, you'll notice that it changes colour, from a blonde to a bronze. Just in the nick of time. Let's get our sticky date out of the oven. You know what they say, good things come to those who wait. This sticky date is full of unctuous, syrupy goodness that you are absolutely going to love. And so are your guests if they're lucky. Let's try a piece, shall we? See the crust on this sticky date? Once you pour in a little bit of that caramel sauce, and by a bit I mean a lot, you can serve it with cream, with yogurt, or just on its own like this. And all that time that you took, all that care, pays dividends in the bite. Mmm.